Hello, thank you for joining. This is Quarantunes for Percussion. I'm Mr. Spur. Quarantunes, Quarantunes, we're stuck inside with Quarantunes. So today we're going to start with sight reading 8th note rhythms, then we'll move on to 16th note rhythms, and then we'll end with revisiting paradiddles. Let's take a look at the 8th note rhythm. Okay, so here's our rhythm. We're going to read it cold first. We'll figure out how to count it, read it again, and then we're going to play and count with the metronome. 2, ready, and count. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, and 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, take a moment right now to pause the video, write down the rhythm, and now we're going to figure out how to count it. So, measure 1, we have 2 8th notes followed by 2 quarters and 2 more 8th notes. Remember, 8th notes are counted as 1 and, hello, needs to stay still. And then we have 2 more quarter notes, that's on beat 2 and 3. And then the last set of 8th notes will be 4 and. Measure 2, we have 2 8th notes, quarter, dotted quarter, and then 8th note. So remember, all notes at the beginning of the measure begin on beat 1. We have to add an and for the 8th note. Now we're on beat 2 for the quarter. That takes up the whole beat. Now we have a dotted quarter note. Remember, quarter note equals 2 8th notes. If we have a dot on the note, it adds half of the value to it. So therefore, a dotted quarter note will equal 3 8th notes. So that means this takes up 3 and 4, leaving this last 8th note on the and of 4. Next measure, we have 2 8th notes, 8th rest, 3 8th notes, 8th rest, and another 8th note. Remember, we always count 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's precisely what we're going to do. 1 and. Beat 2 is blank because there's a rest there, but we have to make sure we add the and of 2 because we have the 8th note. 3 and. Once again, 8th rest on beat 4, leave it blank, but we have the and of 4 there. Last measure. Dotted quarter, 8th note, followed by 4 more 8th notes. So, all notes beginning of the measure begin on beat 1. Dotted quarter equals 3 8th notes, so that takes up beats 1 and 2, leaving this one on the and of 2. And then we have 4 more 8th notes, that would be 3 and 4 and. Let's try counting it again. 1, 2, ready, count. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 4 and. Now this time, sticks in hand, we're now going to count and play. 1, 2, ready, play. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 4 and. Make sure you are counting while you're playing too. Don't cut any corners. You're only hurting yourself if you don't do these steps. Let's take a look at that 16th note rhythm. Here we are. Let's count this cold. And 1, 2, ready, and count. 1, 2, and 3 E and 4. 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4. 1, 2 E and 3, and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4. Take a moment to pause the video, write down the rhythm, and now we're going to figure out how to count this out. So measure 1 has quarter note, 2 8th notes, 4 16th notes, and 1 quarter. All notes at the beginning of the measure begin on beat 1. 8th notes, we count those as 1 and 2 and, so this will be 2 and. 16th notes, remember we count those as 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Since this starts on beat 3, it'll go 3 E and And then lastly, the quarter note is on beat 4. Let's take a look at measure 2. we have 4/16 notes, quarter. 4/16 notes, quarter. All notes at the beginning of the measure start on beat 1. We have 4/16 notes, so that would be 1, E, and A. Next beat has a quarter note that takes us all to beat 2. Next beat has 4/16 notes, so that would be 3, E, and A. And then it ends on beat 4 for the quarter. Look at measure 3. We have quarter, 4/16, 2/8, 4/16. Quarters on beat 1. Beat 2 is 4/16 notes, so that would be 2, E, and A. Beat 3 has 2/8 notes, so that would be 3, and then beat 4 is 4/16 notes, so that would be 4, E, and A. Last measure, we have 8/16 notes and 2 quarters. So the first grouping of 16th notes is on beat 1. We count those 1, E, and A. The next grouping of 16th notes is on beat 2. So that would be 2, E, and A. And then the last 2 beats are 2 quarter notes. 3, 4. Let's try counting it again. 2, ready, and count. 1, 2, and 3, E, and a 4. 1, E, and a 2. 3, E, and a 4. 1, 2, E, and a 3, and 4, E, and a 1, E, and a 2, E, and a 3, 4. Sticks in hand. We're now going to count and play. 1, 2, ready, and play. 1, 2, and 3, E, and a 4. 1, E, and a 2. 3, E, and a 4. 1, 2, E, and a 3, and 4, E, and a 1, E, and a 2, E, and a 3, 4. Good. Now let's take a look at the paradiddle. Okay, so we're revisiting the paradiddle. Remember, it's right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Make sure you practice it slow, then slowly speed it up once you're more comfortable with it. Let's try it. We're going to start playing this at 65 on the metronome. 2, E, and ready, and go. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. Stop. So remember, for those diddles, I want you to feel both of those doubles in your hand. Don't do the push-pull or the drop-catch. Okay? Feel it both in your hand. Try that again. 1, 2, ready, and go. Paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Stop. Now remember what we talked about yesterday. If playing this whole phrase is too much for you, just break it up into chunks. Just focus on the right, left, right, right. Let's try that. 1, 2, ready, and go. Right, left, right, right. 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 Now try it doing the left hand lead. Ready, go. Left, right, left, left. 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 Now what we can do now is adding both of them, but just have a quarter rest in between each grouping. So it'll be like this. 2, ready, and right, left, right, right. Left, right, left, left. 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 Now what I can do next is move one of those 16th notes over, or the grouping over, and then just have it go right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Just that much. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. And right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. And right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. And right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. You can even flip it with left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. and left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, and left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, and left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. Now, once you feel comfortable with it, just keep looping the whole thing. Ready, 2, 3, play. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Paradiddle, 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 right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Paradiddle, 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 stop. Okay, make sure you keep practicing that. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or contact me through the contact page. Have a nice day and stay safe out there.